Think of one thing you are almost ready to do. Maybe it is applying for a better position, publishing something with your name on it, starting the business, asking for the opportunity, having the conversation, or finally walking away from something you have already outgrown. Do not choose 5 things. Choose 1. Keep it in your mind while you listen, because before this video ends, you are going to turn that unfinished intention into one real piece of evidence. Here's the strange thing about high achievers. They can be more prepared than everyone around them and still feel like the least prepared person in the room. They collect another qualification, finish another course, rewrite the proposal, practice the presentation again. They tell themselves they're being responsible, but underneath all that preparation is a private promise. I will move when I finally feel ready. And that feeling never arrives. Not because they are incapable, not because they lack discipline, but because every time they get closer to the standard, their mind moves the standard farther away. Yesterday, you thought you needed more knowledge. Today, you have the knowledge, but now you need more experience. When you gain experience, you decide you need more confidence. When confidence appears, you tell yourself the timing is wrong. This is the moving finish line, and high achievers are especially vulnerable to it because achievement has trained them to keep improving. Improvement is valuable, but improvement becomes a prison when you use it as a condition for beginning. There's an important difference between pursuing excellence and protecting yourself from imperfection. Excellence says, I want to do this well, so I will begin and improve. Perfectionism says, I must already be good before anyone sees me begin. One creates progress, the other creates preparation without exposure. Right now, give your readiness a number. On a scale from 1 to 10, how ready do you feel to make the move you chose? Do not analyze the number, just notice it. Now ask yourself a second question. What exactly would need to happen for that number to increase by 1? More information? More experience? Someone's approval? A guarantee that it will work, or the confidence that nobody will see you struggle? That answer matters because sometimes you're not waiting to become capable, you're waiting to become impossible to criticize, and that's a standard no human being can reach. By the end of this video, you will understand why achievement can make uncertainty feel dangerous, why confidence usually arrives later than you expect, and how to use a 5-step method called proof to move before the feeling of readiness appears. If the moving finish line already describes something you have experienced, mark this video with a like. Not because I need you to prove anything, it simply tells me that this is a psychological road worth exploring more deeply. Now let's look at what you may actually be protecting. High achievers often get praise for what they can do. You may have been the responsible one, the fast learner, the person who did not need much help, the one who delivered when everyone else became overwhelmed. Over time, competence can stop being something you possess. It can become the identity you feel required to maintain. That creates a hidden problem. Every new beginning threatens the identity of being capable, because new beginnings make you visible before you are polished. They force you to ask basic questions. They place you in rooms where someone else knows more. They produce early work that does not match the quality you can imagine. And for someone whose self-respect has become connected to performance, that does not feel like ordinary learning. It feels like exposure. Imagine a woman named Lena. Lena is successful, reliable, and respected at work. Her manager encourages her to apply for a leadership position. She meets almost every requirement. Her colleagues assume she will apply. But Lena notices the 2 requirements she does not meet. She spends 3 weeks reading about leadership. She takes another course. She rewrites her application repeatedly. Then, someone with less experience applies, gets interviewed, and is offered the position. Lena tells herself, I was not ready yet. But that was not the full truth. She was ready to learn the position. She was not ready to be seen learning it. That is a very different problem. High achievers often believe readiness means entering the room without needing anything from the room. No correction, no uncertainty, no embarrassing first attempt, no visible learning curve. But that is not readiness. That is fantasy. Every meaningful next level contains information that the previous level could not give you. You cannot fully prepare for leadership without leading. You cannot prepare perfectly for business without meeting customers. You cannot become completely comfortable speaking publicly without speaking publicly. You cannot know how people will respond to your work while your work remains hidden. The room you are afraid to enter contains part of the education you think you need before entering it. Pause for a moment and return to the move you chose at the beginning. What are you truly afraid it might reveal? That you need help? That your first attempt might be average? That someone might say no? That you could work hard and still not control the outcome? This is where the conversation becomes personal. In the comments, write only one verb that represents the move you have been postponing. Apply, publish, ask, speak, launch, leave. Choose the first honest word that comes to mind. Do not explain your entire life. One verb is enough. By placing it outside your mind, you stop letting fear remain vague, and when fear becomes specific, it becomes easier to work with. There is another reason high achievers rarely feel ready. They often misunderstand the purpose of confidence. They think confidence is permission to act, but confidence is usually evidence left behind by action. Many people wait for confidence as if it is an entry ticket. Once I feel confident, I will apply. Once I feel confident, I will speak. Once I feel confident, I will publish. Once I feel confident, I will make the decision. But confidence is rarely the ticket you present before entering. It is more like the receipt you receive after participating. You attempt something, you survive the discomfort, you adjust. You attempt it again, and your mind begins collecting evidence. I can enter unfamiliar situations. I can make a mistake without collapsing. I can receive feedback without losing myself. I can solve problems I could not predict. That evidence becomes confidence. This does not mean you should leap carelessly into every risk. Some decisions deserve deep preparation. Medical decisions, major financial commitments, legal agreements, choices that could endanger you or someone who depends on you. But most of the moves high achievers postpone are not irreversible disasters. They are applications, conversations, drafts, interviews, small launches, requests, experiments. They are opportunities to gather information. You do not need complete confidence for an experiment. You need a safe enough first repetition. This is where the proof method begins. P stands for pinpoint the gate. Complete this sentence. I will be ready when I know more, when my work is better, when I have more time, when someone invites me, when I stop feeling nervous. Name the condition your mind has placed in front of action. R stands for reduce the gate. Ask, which part of this condition protects my safety and which part only protects my ego? Preparing important facts before a presentation protects the quality of your work. Waiting until you can answer every possible question protects your image. Having emergency savings before leaving a job protects your safety. Waiting until you can guarantee the next job will be perfect protects you from uncertainty. Keep the safety requirement, reduce the ego requirement. O stands for one real repetition. Choose one action small enough to complete, but real enough to create evidence. Not more research, not another private plan. Something that makes contact with reality. Send one application. Show one person the draft. Ask one customer a question. Volunteer to lead one small part of the meeting. Record one practice presentation and send it to someone you trust. The purpose of the first repetition is not to prove that you are exceptional, it is to reveal what the second repetition needs. If this distinction between confidence and evidence is helping you, subscribe to the channel. This channel is not here to shout motivation at you. It is here to give thoughtful people clearer language, better psychological tools, and a road they can actually walk. Now we have 2 more steps, and the next one is where many people accidentally erase their own progress. The second O stands for observe evidence, not emotion. After taking action, do not ask only, did I feel confident? You may not. Ask, what did I learn? What was easier than expected? What went wrong but remained manageable? What can I improve next time? What did I survive that I previously treated as unbearable? Your feelings may still say, that was uncomfortable. Your evidence may say, and I handled it. Both can be true. F stands for follow before fear rebuilds. Complete a second repetition within 72 hours. Not because 72 hours is magical, because long delays give your mind time to turn one uncomfortable experience into another reason to retreat. Action becomes more believable when it is repeated. One attempt can feel accidental. 2 attempts begin to feel like a direction. Let us apply the prove method to the move you chose. You said you wanted to apply for a position. Your hidden gate might be, I will apply when I meet every requirement. Reduce the gate to, I must meet the essential requirements, but I do not need to be the finished version of the person the role will help me become. 1 real repetition. Submit 1 strong application by tomorrow evening. Observe evidence. Record what happened after submitting, including what you learned while writing it. Follow. Submit a second suitable application within 72 hours. Or maybe you want to publish your work. Your hidden gate might be, I will publish when the work represents everything I am capable of. That sounds ambitious, but no single piece of work can represent everything you are capable of. Reduce the gate. This piece must communicate 1 useful idea clearly. It does not need to prove my entire potential. 1 real repetition. Publish 1 imperfect but complete piece. Observe. Notice the actual response instead of predicting an imaginary one. Follow. Publish again before the first result becomes a verdict on your identity. Maybe your move is a difficult conversation. Your gate might be, I will speak when I can guarantee they will understand. You cannot guarantee that. Your responsibility is clarity, honesty, and respect. Their reaction belongs to them. 1 real repetition could be sending this message. There is something important I would like to discuss. Can we choose a time tomorrow? That is movement. Small, but real. Now return to the readiness number you chose at the beginning. Has the number changed? It does not need to become a 10. You do not need 10 out of 10 readiness. You need enough preparation for 1 safe, meaningful repetition. The goal is not to remove discomfort. The goal is to stop interpreting discomfort as a stop sign. Say this once, either silently or aloud. I do not need to feel completely ready. I need 1 honest piece of proof. Now decide exactly when that proof will happen. Use this sentence. If it is blank time on blank day, then I will blank. For example, if it is 7 o'clock tomorrow evening, then I will submit the application. If Monday's meeting reaches the project update, then I will volunteer to present. If I open my laptop tomorrow morning, then I will send the first message before checking social media. Do not leave your next step floating inside the word soon. Give it a time, give it a place, give it a visible ending. If your attention drifted during the method, Return later and replay the section beginning with the prove method. Do not replay the entire video passively. Replay that section with your postponed move in front of you and complete each step as you hear it. Save this video if you intend to use it as a reset when the moving finish line appears again. And think of one capable person who keeps preparing for a life they are already qualified to begin. Share this with them without diagnosing them. You can simply write, "This made me think about the way both of us wait to feel ready." Before you leave, complete this sentence in the comments. "My first proof will be." Finish it with an action another person could actually observe. Not, "I will believe in myself." Write, "I will submit the application by Tuesday. I will publish the draft tomorrow. I will ask for the meeting before lunch. I will make the call at 6. And if there is another psychological pattern controlling your decisions, add it beneath your answer. I read these comments, and the problems you share can become future videos. You are never required to arrive at the next level already knowing how to live there. You are allowed to enter as a learner. You are allowed to become stronger in public. You are allowed to discover that readiness was not a feeling waiting somewhere inside you. It was a relationship with uncertainty that could only change through experience. Your mind was never broken. It may have simply learned to protect your identity by keeping your potential untested. But potential is not a place to live. It is a direction. You do not become ready and then begin. You begin, and readiness starts catching up.